Senate Republicans are outright telling Joe Biden that he better not even think of bringing on Elizabeth Warren, Susan Rice, or Bernie Sanders. Now, to me, this is the same game that Republicans play all the time. It's the same game that Lucy plays on Charlie Brown, saying that basically, if you try this time, Charlie Brown, Joe Biden, we will actually give you bipartisanship. We'll let you kick the football. But as we all know, that never, ever happens. Let me read a few quotes from the Hill.com as they cover the story. Senate Republicans are warning that President-elect Joe Biden would spark a fight if he were to nominate Senator Elizabeth Warren of Massachusetts and Bernie Sanders of Vermont, or former National Security Advisor Susan Rice to his cabinet. They went on to say, Republicans are already seeking leverage by saying Biden would be better off picking centrists such as Senators Chris Coons of Delaware or Doug Jones of Alabama, okay, for his cabinet rather than the progressive stars Warren and Sanders. And finally, the Hill.com said GOP lawmakers declined to speak publicly about their expected opposition to Warren and Sanders, who were both their colleagues, but privately, they're warning that tapping a senator with outspoken liberal views to head the Treasury Department or Labor Department would spark a fight. So, Anna, my question is, do you think Democrats actually believe this time that they're going to actually get some bipartisanship? Because the threat sounds like they're telling Democrats that if you agree to not hire any of these super scary socialists, like terrifying people like Elizabeth Warren, then we agree that we will work with you on other picks. Do you think Democrats believe it, or should they believe it?
No, of course they shouldn't believe them. I mean, look, I think that Biden ran on this message of decency and the importance of bipartisanship because that was really the only message that he could run on. Like, what was he gonna do? Run on a message of economic equality? No, I mean, he told his donors that nothing will fundamentally change under his leadership. And when someone shows you who they are, believe them. Yeah. Look, we had a lengthy discussion on this show this week about whether we would prefer Bernie Sanders within Biden's cabinet, or if it's better for him to remain in the Senate. And I think that it's honestly better for Bernie to remain in the Senate. I think that, the Senate as part of Congress is supposed to be part of the system of checks and balances. And I just worry that, if he's baked into the Biden administration, he's not gonna have as much sway and influence as people think. However, if he's the head of various Senate committees, especially committees that have to do with our economic situation, I think that he has much more sway in that regard. I think that we need to be realistic about what a Biden presidency is gonna look like. A Biden presidency is gonna stop the bleeding for a little while. But I don't think that the left is going to accomplish some of the lofty policy goals that we have. I think that we need to be better at organizing and find a way to gather enough power, accumulate enough power to actually have some influence moving forward.
Right, and that's the thing for me. Is like Joe Biden keeps trying to kick this football of bipartisanship. It's like he has this fetish for bipartisanship with Republicans, and Republicans know that, and they know that that's his weakness, and so they're going to keep playing around in bad faith. Versus over here on our side, we're legitimately trying to implement policies that are going to let our children live in a habitable global, the world, the planet. We're trying to save the future for our children, and they look at us as if like we're the problem. So I'm wondering if there's ever going to be a time, or should we just completely forget about working with these people because they're more interested in working with Republicans?
Yeah, I mean, I think that the left just needs to have a multi-pronged approach. So I know that there are some people out there, so-called left-wing pundits that have like a vested interest in downplaying the importance of electoral wins involving progressives. No, that's important. What I mean by a multi-pronged approach is we need organizing, meaning organizing among workers. But if we can win electorally, we should win electorally. That is part of this equation in accumulating power. And when I see people like Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib, AOC, pretty soon Cori Bush, Jamal Bowman, I refuse to minimize those wins.
Absolutely.
You don't get what you want by just snapping your fingers. It doesn't happen that quickly. We're not going to successfully create a third party. It's just not gonna happen. And so we need to get crafty and figure out how to accumulate power under the system that we're functioning under right now. And it can be done. The right wing did it. There's a playbook. They're way more organized and they understand what power means. And honestly, there's this young electorate that's hungry for leftist policies. And so it's really the future of the Democratic Party, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.